the San Francisco 49ers offseason has been off to a crazy start so far, signing a bunch of guys. But their biggest signing and probably most unexpected signing is signing Javon Hargrave to a 4-year deal worth $84 million with $40 million guaranteed. And this is a guy that's turning 30. So there's good and there's bad to this deal. But he's replacing a guy that really never lived up to his billing as a first-round pick in another Javon Kinlaw. His knee never let him be able to perform at a high level for the San Francisco 49ers, and this move signifies that the San Francisco 49ers are really making a push for the Super Bowl, and it has to be nowish because Kyle Shanahan only has 3 more years on his contract remaining, and he hasn't been extended yet. So with this pressure, I think Kyle Shanahan's looking to build a team to win now. And I think the quarterback he wants to lead that team is Brock Purdy. But that's a topic for another video. I think what they really did with this move with Javon Hargrave is strengthen their pass rush. Because Javon Hargrave had 11 sacks last year, and total for his career, he's had 37.5. And this is from the interior of the line. And as we know, Arik Armstead is more of a run stuffer. So pairing Javon Hargrave with the run stuffer type will really improve this line. And not just that, Javon Hargrave can also stop the run pretty effectively. And when you take into consideration on the outside, they still have a bunch of talent. I mean, Nick Bosa is going to get paid a bunch. And on the flip side, Drake Jackson is an extremely athletic with a high upside rookie being coached by one of the best defensive line coaches in the league. So the San Francisco 49ers line is going to be kicked into overdrive, kind of like it was on their Super Bowl run. So now that I talked a little bit why I'm so excited about Javon Hargrave, I want to go over Javon Hargrave's background and then talk about at the end of this video how I feel about the deal and how I think it's going to impact the 49ers going forward. So without further ado, Javon DeAndre Hargrave was born February 7th, 1993 in Salisbury, North Carolina. And he went to high school at North Rowan, and that was at Spencer, North Carolina, and he played defensive tackle there. And one thing that stuck out during his high school career was how quick he was. Often he would just blow past the offensive lineman and almost take the ball from the running back. And Hargrave, after this stint in high school, attended South Carolina State in 2012. And he took no time to start almost every single game, playing in 11 games his freshman year. And he had 2 sacks that year, and total in his career in college, he had 37 sacks, providing an effective pass rush to his South Carolina team. After completing his time at South Carolina, Hargrave was really trying to make it in the NFL. So in 2016, he played in East-West Shrine game, and this helped raise his draft stock dramatically because he had such a strong performance by dominating all of his one-on-one drills, and he displayed his excellent combination of quickness and power here. Coming out, Hargrave was given a bunch of praise for his quickness, like I mentioned, his quick footwork, his athleticism, and also his strength, but criticized that he had short arms, a stocky frame, small hands, lack of instincts, and also considered him a raw talent. And these are same guys that probably labeled Brock Purdy as an undrafted free agent guy. But let's go over his measurables really quickly. He ran a 4.93 40-yard dash, which is respectable for a guy weighing 309 pounds and 6 foot 1 inches. He also put up the bench press 29 times, so extremely strong. And a team that didn't scoff at this one bit was the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they selected him in the 2016 draft in the 3rd round, 89th overall. On June 10th, 2016, the Pittsburgh Steelers officially signed him to a 4-year deal worth $3.14 million. And he spent his whole entire 4 years there. And he had 2 sacks his rookie year, 2 sacks his sophomore year. His 3rd year, he had 6.5 sacks. And his final year, he had 4 sacks. And what I see when I watch him play is like an extreme version of a DJ Jones type if you're comparing him to any 49ers player in recent history, because that guy is so quick and fast, but Hargrave boosts him up to another level with his strength and his power and just his ability to break these boxes on the inside and get to the quarterback. And going into the 2020 offseason, Hargrave was about to be paid, and he got paid by the Philadelphia Eagles, signing a 3-year deal worth $39 million. And this deal proved to be extremely fruitful for both Hargrave and the Eagles. He was a foundational piece for the Eagles defense going forward, anchoring that inside line, stopping any runs, and really getting the quarterback quite efficiently over the next 3 years. So, starting his 2020 season with the Philadelphia Eagles, he had 4.5 sacks. Going into his 2021 season, he had 7.5 sacks, and this final season, he had a career high of 11 sacks. And if we relive the championship game between the Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers, we remember that the Eagles' offensive line was kind of dominating the San Francisco 49ers' defensive line, and while some of that had to do with fatigue and just not having a quarterback, there was also something to be said that Javon Kinlaw was getting driven back, so this move really helps replace Javon Kinlaw and upgrade him, make the line stronger and like it was when they had DeForest Buckner, which kind of admits that the San Francisco 49ers made a mistake back then, getting rid of DeForest Buckner. They should have probably got rid of Arik Armstead over Buckner if they had to choose one, but it looks like they actually had enough money to choose both. But before going off in the weeds too far, Hargrave actually played extremely well even in the Super Bowl, recording 5 tackles. He didn't sack Patrick Mahomes, but it's still respectable to get 5 tackles in the Super Bowl game. And he's proven to be such a reliable player throughout his whole entire career. So let's get into the good and the bad of this signing for the 49ers defense. The good. The San Francisco 49ers defense just got a foundational piece on their interior line, and this is going to set them up nicely to compete with teams like the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs, both teams that have extremely strong offensive lines. And if we remember some of those quarterback sneaks that the Eagles were running on the San Francisco 49ers, it would be clear that Hargrave would instantly upgrade anything that Javon Kinlaw was doing. Another good, he also upgrades the San Francisco 49ers pass game by attacking the quarterback opposite Nick Bosa. While many people thought they would add another edge rusher, I think they have faith in Drake Jackson, Nick Bosa, Arik Armstead, and now the beast himself, Javon Hargrave. Chris Kasarik also gets another chess piece he can play with. He's one of the best defensive line coordinators in the league, and having more solid players around him really establishes the San Francisco 49ers philosophy in building up their defensive line. The bad, or maybe just not so good, Hargrave is 30, and this is a 4-year deal with $40 million guaranteed. So this does signify the 49ers are trying to make a push right now, but my concern is, look how the LA Rams are after they made a push right now. Sure, they got a Super Bowl ring, but is it guaranteed the San Francisco 49ers get a Super Bowl ring just because they have another dominant defensive player? Or do they need a dominant offensive quarterback? I mean, Brock Purdy looked like the guy last year, but he is coming off that major injury. But there's upside. He should be throwing in 3 months. With all that being said, I would say this deal is an A+ for the San Francisco 49ers. First, they weakened the Eagles quite considerably, and that's great news for Jake Brendel, who's remaining on the team. He's probably thanking the San Francisco 49ers front office right now because he no longer has to block this absolute monster who's going to wreck games for plenty of teams. And paired with Nick Bosa, it's going to be a deadly combination. And if Jake Jackson can actually develop into someone that I think he can, the 49ers are going to be so dominant for years to come on the defensive line. Like I said, my only concern is he is older, so I wonder how he is going to hold up as the seasons grow. But the San Francisco 49ers appear to be positioned quite nicely actually, and I think they can lead themselves into a Super Bowl, and not because of Javon Hargrave, even though he's a great addition. I think that Brock Purdy is the guy. I think he's a top 10 quarterback, and he's going to prove that even after having this surgery, or that's my hope. I really hope that Brock Purdy is the same guy after the surgery, and so far it seems like everything's going according to plan, and he should be throwing within 3 months like I mentioned. And that's such great news for San Francisco 49ers fans like myself. And now that I just talked for a while, I want to hear your thoughts on this Javon Hargrave signing, or even the Sam Darnold signing, or whatever you really want to talk about down below. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos and all the support you give. It means a ton. Thank you so much.